child. I want to be specific as I can. Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
Never, ever. I could never harm a child or anyone. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. And it's not what I'm not even interested in that. In the last few weeks, a large amount of ugly, malicious information has been released into the media about me. Apparently, this information was leaked through transcripts in a grand jury proceeding, where neither my lawyers nor I ever appeared. The information is disgusting and false. Years ago, I allowed a family to visit and spend some time at Neverland. Neverland is my home. I allowed this family into my home because they told me their son was ill with cancer and needed my help. Through the years, I have helped thousands of children who were ill or in distress. These events have caused a nightmare for my family, my children, and me. I never intend to place myself in so vulnerable a position ever again. I love my community, and I have great faith in our justice system. Please keep an open mind and let me have my day in court. I deserve a fair trial like every other American citizen. I will be acquitted and vindicated when the truth is told. Thank you.
There was a side of Michael Jackson that many people rarely got to see. On stage, he appeared calm, self-assured, and completely in control. In public, he was usually respectful and patient, even while dealing with constant criticism. But there were moments when reporters went too far by repeating false stories, asking insulting questions, or judging him before listening to his side. Those moments did not happen often, which is why they were so memorable. Michael's frustration was never caused by a single question. It came from years of facing unfair accusations and being widely misunderstood. He also spoke out when black artists experienced injustice and unfair treatment in the music industry, refusing to remain silent whenever he believed something was wrong.
And it's not the truth. And I'm here to say, do not judge a person. Do not pass judgment on anyone unless you have talked to them one-on-one. I don't care what the story is. Do not judge them because it's a lie. But that's
one reason these moments stood out so much is that Michael Jackson was never someone who enjoyed arguments or confrontation. Unlike many celebrities who openly challenged reporters, he usually remained calm and tried to guide the conversation in another direction. Even when the questions felt unfair, he responded with politeness and respect. Because of that, some interviewers believed he would answer any question without objecting. At times, that made them even more aggressive.
No.
So please, people, stop believing these
Michael,
horrifying
then
stories.
let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think it has caused a great deal of speculation and controversy as to what you have done or are doing. Are you bleaching your skin? And is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to...
Okay, number one, this is the situation. Yes. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So...
He often found himself correcting false claims. There were times when he openly showed his frustration and reminded people that rumors should never be treated as real facts.
It is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller. Sometime
and what did you think? I mean,
it's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad. I don't want to go into my medical history because that's something that's private. But that's the situation here. So please, when people see something like that,
I just want to get this straight. Yeah. You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
Oh God, no!
You did not purpose.
His frustration became even more obvious whenever the conversation shifted to his appearance. Very few celebrities have experienced the level of public attention that Michael Jackson faced over the way he looked. For decades, he was repeatedly questioned about his skin condition, his facial features, and his changing appearance. Although he sometimes answered these questions directly, there were also times when interviewers asked them in a way that seemed less about understanding and more about making accusations.
Trying to control it and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me. I'm a great fan of art. I love Michelangelo. If I had a chance to talk to him or read about him, I would want to know about what inspired him to become who he is, the anatomy of his craftsmanship, not about who he went out with last night or why he decided to sit out in the sun so long. What's wrong with, I mean, that's what's important to me.
How much plastic surgery have you had?
Very, very little. You can count them on 2 fingers. I mean, let's say this, if you want to know about those things, all of the nosy people in the world,
But once we say it, we don't have to say it anymore.
Read my book, Moonwalker. It's in my book. You know, let's just put it this way. If all the people in Hollywood who have had plastic surgery, if they went on vacation, there wouldn't be a person left in town.
I think you might be right.
I think I am right. I mean, be empty.
So did you start having plastic surgery because of those teen years, because of not liking the way you look?
No, not really.
Not really?
No, it's only 2 things. Read it, get my book. It's no big deal.
Okay. You don't want to tell me what it is? You had your nose done, obviously.
Yeah, but so did a lot of people that I know.
Yeah. And so when you hear all these things about you, and there have been more than we are
I've
even
never had my cheekbones done, never had my eyes done, never had my lips done and all this stuff. They just go too far. I mean, it's crazy. But this is something that happens like every day with other people.
Another reason these interviews became tense was that many people tried to portray Michael Jackson as unusual or disconnected from reality. At the height of his fame, the media often focused on strange stories about him because they drew attention. As a result, some interviewers entered conversations with their minds already made up about his personality. Instead of trying to understand who he really was, their questions often seemed designed to reinforce those assumptions or stereotypes.
There's time for this, and this you should not do. You should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson.
How do you feel when they call you Wacko
Wacko Jacko. Where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko.
There are those who would say that you add to the attention.
No, I don't.
Well, the masks, the mysterious behavior.
There's no mysterious behavior. There's a time.
What made these moments so interesting was that Michael Jackson usually stayed calm, even when he was clearly frustrated. Unlike some celebrities who raised their voices or argued with interviewers, he almost never did. Instead, his frustration came through in shorter answers, careful pauses, and direct corrections. Sometimes he would pause before responding to show that he disagreed with the question. Other times, he calmly explained why the assumption behind the question was incorrect. That made his responses stand out because people paid more attention to what he was saying than to how he was saying it. His frustration came across less as anger and more as exhaustion from answering the same questions over and over again. And here is how MJ addressed the allegations during an official deposition.
She can't stop. She can't stop her from making There's nothing you can do.
Some chamomile tea over there that might settle it down. The first problem is it might put you to sleep. You're welcome. Mr. Jackson, in the latter portion of 1993, there were some allegations leveled at you concerning improper conduct with some young boys. I assume you're familiar with the fact that those allegations were raised. Is that right?
Yes.
In fact, there was ultimately at least 2 grand jury inquiries into that I am currently aware of, although counsel tells me there may have been a 3rd. Were you aware that grand jury investigations were conducted into those allegations?
Yes.
Strike that, did you know at the time that the grand jury was investigating these matters that they were in fact investigating? In other words, you didn't find out after it had completed. You knew in advance that people were being subpoenaed to testify.
In advance?
Yeah, poorly phrased. Let me rephrase it. It is my my understanding that some of Neverland Valley Ranch employees were subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury. Do you know that to be the case as well?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a person named Jordy Chandler?
We're not going there. Don't answer. We're not going to get into who he knows and doesn't know. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask it. But I believe it's beyond the scope of discoverable matters in the case.
Whether he knows of Jordy Chandler?
Right.
You're not going to allow me to ask him any questions about Jordan Chandler in any fashion?
Well, we'll take them one by one, but
I can't ask him whether he knows him. I suppose that would sort of preclude other ones, don't you think?
yeah, probably would.
And may I ask for the record what the basis upon which you are going to refuse to allow this witness to disclose whether he knows Mr. Jordan Chandler? As you know, counsel, during the course of discovery in this case, you have already gone into, and I think Mr. Sanger has already gone into, at some depth, a deposition that was taken in the case of Jordy Chandler versus Michael Jackson, given by Adrian McManus. There are issues that are certainly relevant to my interest as to why you inquired as to those depositions that Adrian gave. And you're now telling me I can't even ask whether he knows the man or go into any such areas?
Yeah, let me
Isn't there
cover
a
that.
quote that comes to mind of what's good for the goose is good for the gander?
What,
Aesop's fame.
Let me just make sure my understanding is clear. Is it your position that you will instruct Mr. Jackson not to answer any questions that pertain to the issue of Jordy Chandler in any way, whether it be claims leveled by Jordy Chandler, if any, or discovery in the Jordy Chandler case vis-a-vis Adrian McManus's deposition and allegations that she testified falsely? Any of that you're not going to let him go into?
That's right. I believe that's correct. With respect to the motivations that are, in your view, germane to the allegations made in the complaint, my client has testified that he knows nothing about those matters that you want to explore his motivations on. So therefore, there's a lack of foundation. But let's just go do what you want to do.
You've raised something that sort of catches me by surprise. You say your client has testified that he knows nothing about these matters. Is this at today's deposition you're referring to, or some other deposition that I was not present at?
Today.
That is strange, since I have not asked about that issue until just now. I have not asked about the allegations specifically. I have asked about investigation. Were you aware that Jordan Chandler or his family on his behalf filed a lawsuit against you?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware that at some point in time in that lawsuit, Adrian McManus gave her deposition?
I'm not positive.
Your answer confuses me. How do you mean you're not positive? You don't know whether she gave her deposition or not?
Exactly.
So then, if I understand it correctly, you are not going to allow me to go into any areas in connection with Brett Barnes. Is that right?
Well, you can ask. There's nothing I can think of, but I'm not going to categorically say you can't ask anything about him, but I don't think there's anything relevant. So irrelevant that I'm not inclined to let you get into it unless there's an area that you believe is directly tied to the case.
Well, I believe it, but I have a feeling that my believing it's not going to convince you of much. To your knowledge, Mr. Jackson, were you ever accused of having sexually molested Brett Barnes?
Won't answer that.
Do you know a person by the name of Macaulay Culkin?
Yes.
No.
Get your answer.
So you're going to let him answer questions about Macaulay Culkin?
Let him answer that one.
To your knowledge, were you ever accused of having sexually molested Macaulay?
That's an instruction not to answer on that one.
This is as good a copy of the document as I have available to me at this time. Let me ask you this. Do you recognize the handwriting on these two sheets?
Yes,
Do you know whose handwriting it is?
it's mine.
Do you know what these documents are?
Yeah.
What is this?
Crazy stories that people have created. Things I wanted to set straight in an interview.
Do you know with whom this interview was?
The next, I think it could have been Diane Sawyer, whatever the interview was that I wanted to do. I wanted to set the record straight, that if people hear a lie long enough, people believe it, that people have lied on me. I'm a black American and I'm proud of it, and I'm honored of it. The bleach skin rumor, which is a rumor, I don't bleach my skin. They once said I wanted a white kid to play me as a child, which was a rumor. Inauguration rumor, saying I didn't want to do President Clinton's inauguration. I'm not gay. This says, don't judge a person unless you have spoken to them one-on-one, which is true.
The pressure on Michael Jackson became even greater as legal issues began receiving widespread public attention. No matter what people believed about those cases, the media focus on him increased dramatically. Interviews during this period often felt more serious and tense from the very beginning. Reporters asked tougher questions and often approached them with their own assumptions. As a result, his music, his charity work, and his achievements were frequently pushed into the background.
And fans, I wish to convey my deepest gratitude for your love and support. I am doing well and I am strong. As you may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication. This medication was initially prescribed to see the excruciating pain that I was suffering after recent reconstructive surgery on my scalp. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected. I shall not in this statement respond to all of the false allegations being made against me, since my lawyers have advised me that this is not the proper forum in which to do that. I will say that I am particularly upset by the handling of this mass matter by the incredible, terrible mass media. At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder called vitiligo, which I have previously spoken about. The warrant also directed me to cooperate in any examination of my body by their physician to determine the condition of my skin, including whether I have vitiligo or any other skin disorder. The warrant further stated that I had no right to refuse the examination or photographs, and if I failed to cooperate with them, they would introduce that refusal at any trial as an indication of my guilt. It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life, one that no person should ever have to suffer. And even after experiencing the indignity of this search, the parties involved were still not satisfied and wanted to take even more pictures. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. If I am guilty of anything, it is of believing what God said about children. Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. In no way do I think that I am God, but I do try to be God-like in my heart. I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false. Again, to my friends and fans, thank you very much for all of your support. Together, we will see this through to the very end. I love you very much, and may God bless you all. I love you. Goodbye.
Michael sometimes appeared frustrated that so much attention was given to legal stories instead of the work he had actually done. In several interviews, he tried to steer the conversation back to the facts and the bigger picture, rather than rumors. These moments showed just how difficult it had become for him to remain patient while living under constant public scrutiny.
Time with these young boys.
That's right.
What is a 36-year-old man doing sleeping with a 12-year-old boy, or a series of them?
Right. Okay, when you say boys, it's not just boys, and I've never invited just boys to come in my room. Come on, that's ridiculous. And that's a ridiculous question. But since people want to hear it, you know, the answer, I'll be happy to answer it. I have never invited anyone into my bed, ever. Children love me, I love them. They follow me, they want to be with me. But anybody can come in my bed. A child can come in my bed if they want.
I can say, sorry, I've seen this. I've seen it a lot. I've seen kids. I've seen him with children in the last year. I've seen it enough to where I can see how that can happen. It's, you know, I understand.
Isn't part of being an adult, and you have a 2-year-old child, 2-year-old boy.
Yeah, let me just, sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I've seen these children, they don't let him go to the bathroom without running in there with him. And they won't let him out of their sight. So when he jumps in the bed, I'm even out. You know, they jump in the bed with him.
But isn't part of being an adult?
Popular culture often remembers Michael Jackson in two very different ways, either as a flawless global superstar or as someone constantly surrounded by controversy. His interview moments tell a story that falls somewhere between those two extremes. They capture his reactions as he dealt with pressure in real time. There were moments when he seemed frustrated by being misunderstood, bothered when he felt he was being misrepresented, and defensive as the same rumors continued to come up.
And loving children, keeping children from ambiguous situations. And again, we're talking about over an intense period of time here. Would you let your son, when he grows up and is 12 years old, do that?
You know what, if I didn't know Michael, no way. But I happen to know who he is and what he is. And that makes it, you know, I know that he's not, you know, I know that he's not like that, and I know he has a thing for children, and go ahead, sorry.
I just wonder, is it over? You're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. I think this is really the key thing people want to know, that there are not going to be more of these sleepovers in which people have to wonder.
Nobody wonders when kids sleep over at my house.
But
Nobody
are they
wonders.
over? Are you going to watch out for it now?
Watch out for
just
what?
for the sake of the children and for
No,
everything
because
you've been through?
it's all moral and it's all pure. I don't even think that way. It's not what's in my heart.
So you'll
I would
do it
never,
again?
ever do what again?
I mean, you'll have a child sleeping
Of course,
over.
they want.
Yes.
It's on the level of purity and love and just innocence, complete innocence. If you're talking about sex, and that's a nut. That's not me. Go to the guy down the street, because it's not Michael Jackson. It's not what I'm interested in.
Okay, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, Elizabeth Taylor talked to us a little bit about what she saw when she went over and talked to you in the middle of this and helped you get treatment for addiction to painkillers.
Elizabeth.
Even though Michael Jackson's life was very different from that of most people, his reactions still felt familiar. Many people understand what it is like to be judged by assumptions instead of facts. His responses were relatable because they reflected that same human experience, only on a much bigger stage. He even had to confront interviewers who questioned his personality and appearance.
About the whiteness of your skin, and that it's not somehow a choice on your part, along with the makeup, to be, is it to be neither black or white, neither to look completely male, to be in the androgynous zone? I think they want to know, it is a decision on your part some way, the way you look. Where does it come from?
I think it creates itself, nature.
He's an artist. He
I'm an
has
artist.
every
I'm a
right, and
performer.
he is constantly remodifying something or changing it or reconstructing it or, you know, working on some imperfection that he thinks needs to be worked on. If he sees something he doesn't like, he changes it. Period. He re-sculpted himself. He's an artist.
I might want to put a red dot right there one day. Or 2 eyes right here.
Do you wish you were the color you were again?
Do I wish I was the
That
color? You have to ask
color.
nature that. I love black. I love
Do you wish
black.
you were that way?
I envy her because she can tan and I can't.
One more question I want to make sure I ask. Are you going to sing together?
Looking back, Michael Jackson also spoke openly at times about his insecurities, including concerns about his appearance, such as acne and his nose. He explained that those feelings were connected to difficult experiences from his early life and the pressure he experienced while growing up in the public eye.
And yet it seems as though a lot has been required of you. Do you sometimes regret being so utterly famous?
No, sometime, only sometime. Sometimes I want to sneak into places and not have any hoopla or, you know, and it doesn't work all the time because people start and they crowd around, and which is sweet. I mean, I shouldn't complain, but
No, but you have a right to complain because everybody has the right to go out there and to just be alone. But it seems like that right isn't really given to you.
it was part of the work, I would say.
These moments did not define Michael Jackson's entire career, but they did reveal something important about who he was. They showed that behind the fame, the carefully crafted public image, and the constant headlines, he was still a human being who could sometimes feel overwhelmed. That is one of the reasons these interviews continue to interest people today. So, what do you think? Were Michael Jackson's reactions justified, or were the interviewers simply doing their job? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like the video, subscribe for more stories, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next one.